And now we're back with our last investigator for this campaign going forward. Zach playing... I'm going to forget your last name like 100 times before I remember it.
You can just call me first.
Jesse
Grümwalt.
Yeah, Jesse Grümwalt. Yeah. So, Jesse, as I have explained to you already, you have gotten here to Port Rouge in the dead of night. It is long past 10:30, probably pushing a little closer to 11. A small cozy town like this is usually in the dead of sleep by 9 p.m., maybe 8:30 depending on the day. You find yourself pulling in from the interstate, from I-23 into the heart of Port Rouge as you take one of the side roadways veering off from Interstate 23 to the Bark Park Motel.
I probably should have mentioned this.
Yes.
I don't have a car. I rode the train from South Dakota to here.
That's right.
I didn't tell you that.
Let me hit the...
But I didn't tell you that, so that's on me.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I hitchhike?
You absolutely can.
There.
You absolutely can hitch a ride from a passerby who will drop you off.
What's that place called?
Prince Frederick.
Prince Frederick.
Yeah, in the heart of Calvert County.
Yeah.
So, hitching a ride with a stranger, he leaves you at the Bark Park Motel, tells you it's a good place to situate yourself for the night, and then heads on his way. He said he's making the drive down to Richmond, Virginia. So you are situated here at the Bark Park Motel. It's a fairly rustic looking motel, probably no more than like maybe 50 rooms in total here. Fairly large, but not larger than some of the probably main city motels that you typically see, for the most part. In any case, you have been left to your own devices here as you are situated in front of the motel proper.
I look down at the dirt, right?
Okay.
For like a long time, and I go, I see. That way.
That way,
I walk
indeed.
towards the motel.
Yep, that way indeed. You have to find a detective. And as you recall, the dirt tells you...
Talk to the dirt?
The dirt tells you find a detective.
No, I didn't talk to it.
No, he didn't talk to it.
No,
he just looked at the dirt.
It had a map.
And told him to look inside.
Oh!
Yeah, it told him to go inside. And go inside.
This guy already forgot one
You
of my
already
minions.
forgot, bro. This
Look,
guy.
actually... Are we supposed to go over those?
You're a loon. No, they'll come into play when they come into play.
Okay, when they come into play, okay, that makes more sense.
Makes
So-
more sense.
Jesse, you make your way inside, and you are greeted by a older gentleman. He looks like he's probably about in his mid-60s. He's a little taller. He's obviously a little more heavier set from the coming of old age, living in a small town like this. He's got a very it looks like a very well taken care of, almost kind of handlebar salt and pepper mustache that kind of tips out on the beginnings of his beard that runs down. Very same sort of salt and pepper pattern. He's got slightly graying, silverish hair. He looks like a very kindly gentleman as you kind of come on in. He stands up from his seated position behind the front desk, turning his radio down as you come up to the counter. And as he greets you, he starts out with saying, "Well, howdy on in for the night, good sir. Welcome to the Bark Park Motel, where the people are parking until the dogs are barking. How can I help you?"
Well, howdy, mister. It is a great pleasure to meet you. I need somewhere to stay for a little while.
Well, you've come to the right place, my good sir. You can get you situated with a room here for the night. It'll be 50 cents a night. How long you plan to stay with us?
Oh, I don't know. Can I run a tab? Pay as I go?
Sure thing. I'm just gonna need your personal information.
Of course. The name is Jesse Grümwalt.
And he begins to flip open a ledger book that he takes out from a drawer. He thumbs through several dozen of the pages before he comes upon an empty page and starts to write in your first and last name. And he says, spell the last name for me.
G-U-R with the umlaut. N-E-W-A-L-D.
And he kind of writes it in. He says, sorry, pardon my rudeness. What is an umlaut?
2 dots above the U, good sir.
He puts the 2 dots above the U. And he kind of situates himself in. He says, "Yeah, I'll keep a tab open now for you. We'll have to ask just as a bit of a leniency measure for the front counter. Just in the event you want to run up a tab and end up skipping town, I will need something of yours to hold on to for the time being as leverage."
Well, I tell you what. And we'll
tell you what, slings the rifle off his shoulder. Oh, So you're threatening him.
So you can hold these bullets for me.
You hold these bullets for me, right in your skull.
Yeah.
So I slip him a $5 bill, right?
Okay.
And I look at him and I say, now, part of this too, mister, is the confidence you keep in your guests.
Okay. So he kind of looks between the two of you, and he kind of takes it, folds it over once, puts it in his coffer box, and says, "You are mighty kind, my good sir."
Of course.
He kind of turns to behind him to the hanger hooks and takes off a set of 2 small keys before handing them to you. And he says, "You'll be staying in room 27, left hallway, 7th door on the left."
Mighty kind of you. I have 2 questions for you. Well, I suppose 3.
Go right ahead.
First question. How do you take to the law?
I got no reason to distrust him, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, let me rephrase that. How do you take to the law? Not the lawmen, but the law itself.
Like the law of the land, the law of the city.
Are you a bender of rules?
Not particularly, unless I'm given good enough reason to. You asking a favor of me, sir?
Say a man had a mighty thirst. Would there be a place around here that accommodates?
I mean, there's a small bar in the lounge, but there ain't no water in a hole like that. You might have to head a bit more north to Prince Frederick for something like that, for that kind of accommodations.
I do appreciate that. The second question I have is, the third question is a bit more abstract. Anybody around here been acting strange, aloof, different?
He thinks it over for a moment and says, "Well, I did have a lawman come in earlier. He's a bit, eccentric, I would say. Had a couple questions about the disappearances here in the town and was occasionally, I think, talking to himself? Talking to someone.
It is mighty strange.
Yeah, it a bit is, and I might be inclined to divulge some information to you in regards to what room he might be accommodating for the night, given your mighty fine generosity so far."
Well, that won't be necessary, but my question more pertains to people who may have been living here. More permanent residents.
Oh, you're talking locals.
Yeah, you find that they've been about the same as they always have been, or is something in the air?
About the same for the most part. Bit of unrest, but bit of a lack of faith in local law enforcement. We've, again, got a string of disappearances going on through the town, and well, I've heard exchanging of words about a lack of performance with the local law enforcement, but again, I got no reason to distrust the police.
Well, I've always found that the best trust a man can place is in his own strength of arms and in mother.
Of course, right. You, kind of looks you up and down like he's trying to get a judge of character for a moment. He's just like, right, religious man, I take it. Then, okay. I'm not in no place to judge. I'm myself a Baptist Christian, but in any case, did you have any more questions for me, sir, or was that about it for the night?
I believe that should be all. I appreciate you.
Of course. And, oh, I already have your name, sir. How mighty rude of me to not give you mine.
Of course.
I'm, James Crawford.
James Crawford, I appreciate you.
Been running this, fine establishment since I opened it in 1895.
Goodness gracious. 10 years after I was born. Ain't that something?
Yeah, well...
Time is a hell of a thing.
Yes, sir, indeed it is. I might, look it, but I'm quite weathered for my experience in this field. It's quiet work, though.
I know
cozy.
How that goes.
He kind of looks a bit like there's like a bit of like a few quick blinks and a bit of confusion in his eyes. He's like, "All right."
No, Mr. Crawford, if you wouldn't mind, one last question for me.
Go right ahead.
Can I buy livestock anywhere around here?
Well, not here per se. I mean, you'd have to go a bit more westward up Oak Street. Got some farmland just other side of the forest. You might be able to convince one of the farmers to be parting ways with one of their cows, or is it a horse you're looking for?
Cattle, boar, something of that sort, I suppose.
I'm not so sure about boar unless you want to go hunting in the woods, but bovine or equine might be able to try and convince one of the farmers. They're usually willing to part with livestock for the appropriate fee.
Well, that is duly noted. I appreciate you very much.
Of course, sir, good sir. And if you have any more questions for me, I'll be situated up here.
I'll know where to find you. Appreciate you.
And of course. And he sits himself back down in his chair, turns his radio back up to tune into more of the music he was partaking in before you walked in, leaves you to your own devices.
Pull out a cigar, strike a match.
Thought you were going to say pull out a gun.
Just end James.
I have to remember, you have a rifle and not a handgun.
Correct.
It's not as simple as saying, I pull out my gun.
And
So
him
no,
rightly.
I just started up my cigar and head over to my room.
You light up your cigar and you head to your room. As he told you, room 27, left hallway, 7th door on the left.
And once in there, I'm just gonna kind of sit back, kick my legs up, and
It's just the voices.
sit back, kick my legs up, and just kind of chill.
Okay. You can kind of situate yourself in your room for a minute. Yeah, okay. As you do so, you take the time to leisure with yourself, situating yourself in your room, as you are now set in your new environment. You still have your first course of action, sort of your own guidance as you got here to find the detective. So, you take however much time you need in your room, but the night will pass on, unless anybody has something that they want to do for the night. Charles, you are situated in room 17. Right hallway, 5th door on the left.
So I'm in here.
Yep, you are here in the motel. You needed somewhere to stay. You're not a local.
Stay in my car.
I mean, hey man, you could if you want to. You could just be a car hopper and just kind of park in different spots across town to live for the night.
Take a shower in the stream.
What stream?
The ocean, you mean?
You got the Chesapeake Bay and that's it. And that's going to make your hair very uncomfortable.
Good.
I hate it.
That's how I like my hair.
Uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Keep it on edge.
Stands on end like he's going Super Saiyan.
You can't let them rest.
Oh boy.
The hair follicles.
But in any case, the night passes on then uneventfully as we come to the next morning. Now, the matter of breakfast is handled a bit differently here at the motel. Don't think like Hilton or Doubletree where there's a continental breakfast, you can help yourself or whatever. Breakfast is served on a... it's not a catering table.
Lazy Susan.
Okay.
No. There is a catering table set up in the lounge. It looks like it probably could be wheeled in and out of the lounge. There is a trio of cooks that are situated there that look as if they prep breakfast. Probably not in abundance, for people to come grab. They look like they cook to order.
What are their names?
Just
One,
the facts,
you didn't
please.
ask. Two, we're gonna get into who is the first to step out of the rooms, which would be York,
And I would
the lawman.
shoot him through the
So you're saying that the food, we still go to like the cafeteria or whatever it's called.
The lounge.
The lounge.
Yes, the lounge situated is a myriad of tables that are obviously set up for dining or lounging. There is a small bar. Nobody has currently occupied it. And then there is this wheeled-in table that is used by the 3 catering chefs.
Okay, so I will leave my room, lock the room, and then
I would hope you lock the room.
yeah, and then
Don't
I'll
want any
go to
black-eyed
the
kids showing
lounge
up.
to get some.
You
I guess
realize we mention this stuff because it matters for you.
it
I was
does.
gonna say, I'm glad you locked the room, though it would be a shame if some black-eyed kids walked into your room.
That's happened before.
That has happened before.
To be fair, the locks didn't stop on that.
To be fair, it was the window too, but
It's very true. So
I'm gonna go to the lounge, I guess, to try to get some breakfast.
there, if you recall when you were here yesterday, there were 3 cars parked in total in the parking lot. You see who is probably one of the guests staying here at the motel. They look to be a younger gentleman, probably like mid-20s. He's fairly athletic build, and judging by the nature of his attire, you can properly surmise by the kind of dirtied up white cloth shirt with suspenders that he's probably a mill yard worker. Probably works in the lumber yard up in Prince Frederick.
Okay.
He's the only person here in the lounge aside from the catering cooks.
So he's just sitting at a table or something?
Sitting at a table, he's eating a breakfast. Looks like he got himself a serving of 4 eggs cooked sunny side up, a couple sausage links, strips of bacon, and would look to be toast that's probably been buttered.
I'll just walk by and go sit to a table and just, morning, sir.
You sit with him?
No, just at a table, at another table.
Okay, another table, just another vacant table.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you call out to him?
Yeah.
Okay. He kind of, looks like he started probably cutting through some of the eggs, folding up and stacking up some of the egg whites on his fork. As he brings it up to his mouth, you call out to him, and he kind of just stops and is like, goes right back to eating. Does not break eye contact with you, but just continues eating.
Okay. That's it. Just go sit down, I guess. So he's just staring at me.
You initiated the conversation with him, but he looks like he's very much more invested in wanting to eat his food than talk to you.
So I'll look around, seeing how to get my food, and then I guess I'll see him looking at me. Just be like, Agent Francis York Morgan. But you can call me York. Everyone calls me that.
He picks up a sausage link with his fingers, mind you, not with his fork, and he just kind of eats his... You lost?
No. I'm not lost.
You ain't a local.
Correct. I'm part of the Bureau of Investigation. I'm here on a friend's request to help find his wife.
City boy. Eats the rest of the sausage link.
City boy!
City boy!
Something like that.
Right. You hear about the missing folk?
That is what I said.
You fixing to do something about it?
We shall see.
Sorry, I got a notification on my phone. He kind of nods again, picks up one of the slices of toast, starts biting into it. What you finna do about it?
I guess that depends. Who are you?
That don't matter to you, local yokel.
It kind of does. Who are you?
Matthew.
Okay.
Your name goes on the list.
You're the first NPC I'm killing.
Matthew what?
You investigating me now, officer?
You are in the town. So yes. I also work...
At this moment, he's now broken eye contact with you and just goes back to eating. He looks like he is no longer invested in this conversation.
I see. What do you know about the disappearances as of late?
He says nothing. Goes right back to eating. You get the impression that he has a sort of distaste towards police.
Right.
I think I'm gonna like this guy.
Can I attempt to
You want to razzle dazzle this man a little bit?
Charm him, charm him.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna attempt to persuade him.
Okay. Give me a persuade roll.
What is wrong with you, Jason?
There's a lot wrong with Jason. Give me a persuade roll.
He's been doing this whole time.
Listen, he's an investigative journalist. He's got to.
Yeah, I see that.
He's trying to sketch the perp.
He has deconstructed the word Charleston Chew and Call of Cthulhu into multiple hieroglyphs. I don't understand.
I'm being prepared.
Bro, that's the mythos.
He's been overtaken by the warp.
I see that.
Oh, no.
I'm being.
So I'm gonna try to persuade him.
Give me a persuade roll.
A 37.
What's your persuade?
60.
60?
Yeah.
So with not a hard success.
Not hard success.
Okay. So he kind of looks up at you again, keeps out his eggs, and says, you know, you got other locals in town you can bother.
Right.
Goes right back to his food.
Nice.
I'm gonna look around the
Chad.
room. Is James in the room?
James, yep, situated right at the front desk. Looks like he probably hasn't been there very long.
I'm gonna lean on the chair. Hey, James. Who's this guy right here?
He kind of leans over some. He's like, oh, him?
Yeah.
Kinda points at the guy situated at the table. Matthew now turns and looks at James, kind of like a whole, like, are you serious? And James speaks up and he says, that's Matthew Hoffer.
Interesting. Do you know anything about Matthew? Anything I need to worry about, really?
He's a cousin of the Hoffers here in town. He's Port Rouge born, not raised per se. He said, when did you leave for college again, Matthew? He said, ain't important, James.
I
That's
did.
a strange date.
That's a strange date in time. I don't remember the date, ain't important.
It's right after October.
It's after 7
Oh,
important.
it's right after October. My bad, I forgot about that then.
So did he just get back to town, or?
How long you been back in town, Matthew? And he looks now to you and he says, ain't important, officer.
No, it's actually more important now. When did he come back?
James kind of like rubs at his chin a bit. It's like, shoot, was it about a week and a half now?
Interesting.
Matthew kind of turns, James, shut it. I ain't talking to this cop.
And that's where I come in.
Funny enough, actually, this would be where Charles comes in. As you were making your way out to the hall, obviously you began to smell some of the breakfast foods being cooked, and you come in at the tail end of this altercation going on.
I just kind of look around and I'm just like, wow, good
Yeah.
morning, y'all.
You kind of walk in on Matthew saying, I ain't talking to this cop.
I just kind of like hear it and I just kind of ignore it and go, morning, where's the food at?
And James kind of motions over to the catering table with the three chefs.
I wouldn't say cop. Agents more of a
Agents?
Yeah.
So I got less reason to trust you.
fair. I
You
guess.
a Pinkerton?
No, sir.
Yeah, whipped cream.
I work for the government.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, whipped cream. Got heavy whipping cream.
That work right there, just right there on the pancake.
So what were you doing out of town then? As these people are going missing.
I'm away
course.
from university for the summer.
Where's that at?
Down in Richmond.
As they're talking, I'm just gonna literally sit at the same table that Matthew's sitting at.
And Matthew said that. He kind of watches you, says, can I help you?
That depends. You gonna pass that syrup?
Kind of picks it up and just puts it down in front of you.
Thanks, boss. I just go eat. Just eat.
Look, I'm just trying to find out any information on these missing people.
Yeah, and I'm trying to end this damn conversation. Now, can I go? Or are you going to leave me to my own business?
We're talking about missing people?
This person that's talking with
gonna-
either of their names actually.
How far is he from me?
Matthew?
No.
Oh, him?
Well, he's sitting next to Matthew.
He's seated at the same table as Matthew, and Matthew's table is about 6 feet from you.
I'm just gonna kind of get up and kind of put my hand up to you. Just, excuse me, sir. Agent Francis York Morgan. But you can call me York. Everyone does.
Isn't that right, Zach?
All right. Charles Henry. You can call me Chuck, Chenry, Henry, whatever is good for you. You're asking about these missing people?
Yes. I have been called to this town by a family friend about his missing wife. I'm part of the Bureau of Investigations.
So you're a cop?
No, I'm an agent.
You're an agent. You work for the Bureau of Investigation?
Correct.
Charles, you know exactly what the Bureau of Investigation is.
And, you, sir, Mr.
Hoffer. Matthew Hoffer.
Any relation to, an Austin or a Rick Hoffer?
Yeah, they're my aunt and uncle.
Oh, okay. I talked to, wait, Rick's your uncle? I said Rick and Austin.
Oh, Rick and Austin.
Yeah.
I thought you said...
My aunt and uncle.
No, yeah, you did get the mother's name.
I did get the mother's name, but I asked
No, he
specifically
said
Austin
no.
and Rick.
No. Austin Hoffer's my uncle. Rick's my cousin.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your cousin, young man. I know that must be tough for you and your family. But
Just kind of looking back between you two, not saying anything, but just...
Yeah. And Jesse, at this point, you come in now smelling the same familiar breakfast scents that hang in the air as you come in to the end of this rather sharply dressed gentleman talking to what you would imagine is one of the locals and another person. What is York wearing in this moment right now?
He's currently wearing a suit still.
He's wearing a suit. So, suited individual, clearly somebody who is a journalist of some kind, judging by the button up and tie.
Yeah, and this time of morning, I'm kind of just like loosening the tie up a little bit. I'm just letting it hang down and just kind of like just same kind of attire, but looser tie. Like maybe one or two buttons are buttoned down, and just kind of a little bit more casual, a little less formal.
So I've got like bags under my eyes. Still look pretty spry, but I mean like there's physical like
You look
of
physically
tiredness.
tired, yeah.
And I walk out, lit cigar in hand, looking over. Is there bacon at this here table?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
I hear bacon.
I go for the bacon.
Okay, it's not cooked yet.
Well, isn't that a disappointment?
It's cooked.
Is there
it's
coffee?
made to order. Yes, there is
Okay.
coffee. You
So
can just
I
readily
order
kind of grab
a
it
bacon and grab some cup of coffee.
I order a whole bacon.
A whole bacon.
One whole bacon.
When he says bacon, it does get my mind.
Oh, I
I need
didn't
breakfast.
say it.
Oh, you just said you ordered it.
No. Oh well.
You
okay.
did.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you loon.
I'm back to Mr. Hoffer.
Yeah, so they're talking, but I'm like
You're
backing
obviously-
up to go see if I can get some breakfast while listening to
hear
them.
that, Zach? Bacon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm just kind of eating and talking to him at this point, not taking notes. I put my notebook away and go, "Oh man, these missing people makes town go crazy, huh?"
Yeah, you can't even begin to surmise the half of it.
I believe it. You been here your whole life?
Born. Left Port Rouge when I was of age to,
Prostitute.
No, go to university.
Oh yeah, right, of course. When people where I'm from, when they say of age, they mean something different. I'll tell you that. But
York looks at him, just not knowing who he is, and just looks back.
Huh?
Is there pancake?
well,
There is a bowl of some type of batter you'd surmise probably to make pancakes with.
Okay, well, I'll order some pancakes and get a cup of coffee
Okay.
and sit back at my table.
Okay.
I just go. So, I mean, I know it's early in the morning, but I'm just a reporter out of Charleston, just trying to get some information, just trying to get the facts here. Is there anything that you can help me for my report? I mean, have you heard anything about these police actually doing their job?
So Matthew looks at you for a moment as you say you're from Charleston. It's kind of like a surprised look, and he's like, "You're a bit of ways from home, stranger."
Yeah, that's right.
Something about honestly, I ain't been back in town too long, so I've only heard what, my aunt and uncle shared with me about Rick going missing. I know probably about as much as they do, and they ain't shared much with me.
All right. How long you been back in town?
About a week and a half.
Oh yeah. These kids have been missing for months. I mean, I know
I've heard.
Yeah, I know your cousin went missing in January.
Again, I've heard.
Yeah.
I was in university at the time.
Where at? What university?
Richmond University.
Richmond, huh? Oh, that's a good school. What you going to university for?
I'm going for a bachelor's in the arts. I got a talent with, stoneworking, marble.
All right.
Stonemasonry. I like to make sculptures.
Okay. I can understand something like that. That's what got me into journalism. I like taking pictures, but I also like knowing the facts. Like knowing the truth of things,
If there was a drinking game for however many times Jason has said facts in this whole thing, I would be
we can make
slammed
one.
right now.
They run at home every time he says facts.
I would be so sloshed.
Listen here,
right
I'm just
now.
trying to get the car. Facts. All right, but
I hate it.
yeah, I mean that's what got me into journalism though. Just my interest in being able to enjoy what I can do every day. Woodworking and stoneworking, that's a crazy, that's a good skill. Good skill to have. Translates pretty well to some engineering jobs in the cities if you're ever looking for that.
That's the end goal, at least.
Yeah, I hear you. I came from a small little rural town in South Carolina there, so going up to Charleston, I mean, that was a move. That was a big move for me.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
While they're having this conversation, I'm going to pour the creamer and
Into your
sugar
coffee?
into my coffee.
Okay.
May I look into the coffee?
Yeah, give me a luck roll.
A luck roll?
Luck roll.
That don't look good for you. Don't.
No. 67.
67, what's your luck?
35.
35, that is almost a fumble.
Yeah.
So, you pour your creamer and sugar into the coffee and take your mixture in, watching the swirls of creamer fade away into the now brown coloration of the coffee after adding the creamer. Nothing really legible.
Nothing today, Zach. Just normal coffee. Just kind of look disappointed while looking at my coffee.
Yeah, you kind of look disappointingly into your coffee cup.
I don't know what just happened there.
So, Jesse, where do you situate yourself after you've gotten your food?
Oh, I was just kind of like standing up against the wall, just kind of coffee in hand,
Coffee in
cigar
hand.
on the other,
Yeah, cigar in the other.
watching.
Mr.
Observing.
Crawford kind of gives you a wave,
Tip
like
the
to
hat.
greet you, as you're kind of. I don't want to say loitering, because loitering is not what exactly
Right.
you're doing, but kind of situating yourself here, kind of taking the scene as it unfolds.
At this point, I've been in town for about 2 months.
Yeah, you've been here for 2 months.
So I imagine I'd have a collection of like pictures from the evidence and stuff. And
Yeah,
everything from there.
absolutely.
I'm gonna pull out a picture of of Matthew's cousin Rick. His shoes, I believe, are left.
His shoe, singular shoe.
Singular shoe. And show it to Matthew. And I'll be like, I understand you may not want to see this. I got a picture of your young cousin's shoe here. This is the last thing that they found. Is there anything out of whack with this that you could tell me?
He kind of looks at the photo for a moment. He's like, I mean, it's a bit strange. There's only the one shoe. Like, where'd
That's
the
what I
other
said.
go? Those
Yeah.
are definitely my cousin's. His shoe size, at the very least I can tell. Size 2 in kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what more else I can share with you. I know about as much as my Aunt Susan knows.
Right. And I pull out a picture of the footprints on the sand. And I go, these footprints look authentic to you? I'm just trying to pick your brain, and I'm just eating while I'm talking.
Kind of looks, I mean, they look pretty authentic to me.
Yeah, I guess so, Matthew. Alright, well, I mean, I don't want to take up your time. I just appreciate eating lunch or eating breakfast with somebody, It's not good to eat alone.
Right, yeah, of course, neighborly things and all that.
That's it. Southern way.
That is the Southern way.
I guess with him saying that, him saying alone, I kind of like turn and see his character and just kind of nod to him and say, Agent Francis York Morgan, but you can call me York.
I didn't ask.
This seems
Why
like
is
fun.
everyone just such an asshole around here? You hear that, Zach?
I just walk up and like cuff him up against like the back of the
Shoulder?
Shoulder.
the shoulder with the cigar hand, mind you.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm just pulling your chain, mister. And I pull the chair around with the back facing the table and I straddle it and just go.
Oh, he's having that cowboy sit.
So, you got detention.
The name's Jesse.
Well, nice to meet you.
And you are, mister?
This man's clearly pointing at you, Charles.
I'm Charles Henry. You could call me Chuck, Chucky, Charles, or Chenry.
I call him Chenry
All right, well,
just now.
Y'all are both looking into those missing persons?
Yes.
I mean, it's a big news report. Might as well.
I have a family friend who called me all the way from Washington.
I've heard some rumors.
If you don't mind, if you could use an extra pair of eyes and ears and hands, I'm here.
Yes. You are here.
Yes.
Now, do you have any personal stake in this?
Well,
Do you live around here, or?
No, mister, I'm from South Dakota. But I was told to come here.
By who?
Well, by my mother.
Your mom lives here.
No. But, well, she gets around.
So your mother, who doesn't live here, told you to come
Gonna
here.
turn to my shoulder.
Yes, sir.
Zach, his mother gets around.
I'm going to turn to
What does that
Matthew
mean?
and be like, does that make any sense to you?
I mean, Port Rouge is people call it a traveler's town. People don't typically stick around long unless you're born or raised.
You born and raised?
Now they assembled me.
That's what the guy just said, right?
I'm a construct.
They don't stick around unless they're born and raised.
Are you born and or raised?
Are you born and raised? No, I was factory made, baby.
I'm just looking for the facts here, you know.
Straight sheet metal.
Oh no, not
I'm a
straight sheet
warforged,
metal.
baby.
Not straight
I was
sheet
assembled
metal.
in Kowloon province.
God.
Shipped over here to California.
Oh god, I hate it.
All right, well,
No, but we've heard whispers that there's some strange going-ons out here.
strange what?
Going-ons?
Like what?
Now go on.
What he said.
Well, the sort of stuff that a person such as yourself wouldn't really much care for. It is conjecture, you see.
I'm listening.
People say something's not quite right going around here.
Okay.
That their disappearances aren't an accident.
If they're not accidents, then what are they?
That's what I've come here to find out.
See, I've heard it was mermaids.
All right. You got any proof?
So the friend that I came here for, John Owens, has told me that no, it wasn't John Owens. Was it?
No, it was John.
It was James, wasn't it?
No, yeah, it was. You talked to John about it, but James is the one who.
James is the one who
informed
said
you
it.
that,
Sorry.
yeah.
So from James, I heard it from James. So I asked him about some of the disappearances. Oh my gosh,
English is hard, bro.
it really is.
I mean, I got like a
And,
60 in that skill, I think.
He told me.
English ain't that hard for him.
He told me about a man in town that apparently did himself in, and beforehand he went around town telling everyone that he saw mermaids and they were doing things to people. So
Do we know where this person was? Like,
hey James, where was this
saw-
person?
Where did he see these mermaids?
You asking about Mr. Hampton?
Yes.
Mr. Hampton lives on the edge of Port Rouge.
You know where he saw these mermaids at?
What did he say?
Said something about down by the Chesapeake Bay.
You know, I got
His
4 kids that
usual,
went missing near Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah, I mean, likely. Roy's typical fishing spot was up and down the Chesapeake Bay. You know, the section of it that kind of carves into the heart of Maryland.
The heart?
Yeah, for the most part. Chesapeake Bay carves straight into the heart of Maryland.
Is that a fact?
Character's gonna walk off.
Yeah.
Back towards his room.
Back to the stream? Okay.
Alright, well, I mean, I guess if you ain't sticking around with your extra eyes and hairs and hands there, partner, I guess we'll just go look at this Mr. Rutherford. What was his name? Hampton?
Roy Hampton.
Roy Hampton.
I'll go look into Roy Hampton's place of living, and then maybe we go check out Chesapeake Bay in the heart of Maryland.
I'm out of earshot.
I was gonna say you're saying
I'm-
you're saying all this to Jesse as he's leaving.
as you're walking away, I'm talking to you.
He's kind of more like almost shouting at
Sure.
you as he's saying all this as you're walking.
You're the
back
one
to
who
your
said
room.
you would give an extra hand.
Yours gone.
Ranch
Give
your
it to
life,
him,
baby.
Okay.
Yeah. Rancher life, baby.
And I just look over at you and say, so Mr. Agent York, huh?
Mr. Agent York.
Yep.
Mr. Doctor.
Mr. Doctor.
Just York.
Alright, listen here. New York, I am going to go check out these disappearances. But I'll be honest with you, these local PD don't look like they've been doing their job whatsoever. And
they don't look like it, or they're not.
Well, that's the thing is I'm trying to get down to the truth of things here.
Now, have you talked to these police officers?
I have talked to them, correct?
You've talked to several of them, actually.
Alright, and do I still believe they're not doing their jobs?
You know a lot better now that it very much seems that way. The handful of officers that you have talked to have talked about where they've combed, how many hours they've devoted to I was gonna say search and rescue. No, that's still technically correct. Search and rescue. How many hours they've devoted to search and rescue, and what parts of Port Rouge and Prince Frederick they have devoted to searching. All they typically give you is a shrug of the shoulders and like, yeah, we're not finding much.
Yeah, I don't know if they are doing much of anything besides sitting on their rumps and not doing a whole lot. So everybody I've talked to has shown barely nothing.
And I walk back in with my haversack slung across me and my rifle on my other shoulder, and it's like, well, are you gonna sit there?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna eat my breakfast and let's finish up.
Well, I'm planning on going to the police station. Because I don't know any of this stuff, so I want to hear it from the source. I have heard that they're not doing their job, which I am, meant to believe because my friend wouldn't just lie to me like that.
Well,
With his wife missing and all.
Sure. Well, I had 3 young ladies try and lie to me and tell me that the police were doing everything they could. So, I'll be honest with you, your friend, I think if he told you the police ain't doing their job, they probably ain't doing their job. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go check out Roy Hampton's spot, and then go check out the Chesapeake Bay. If one of y'all gentlemen want to come with me or not, that's your prerogative.
I can meet you at the Chesapeake Bay, but I would like to go to the police station first.
You
I'd
absolutely
like to see
can
this
do
Roy
that.
Hampton's house.
Alrighty. So be it.
Okay. And you guys, you 3 have your mission in mind. Charles and Jesse will make their way to Roy Hampton's place, while York, you will take it upon yourself to stop by the Port Rouge Police Department and talk to some of the officers yourself to get a first-hand account of the supposed incompetence of local law enforcement.
As I stand up to finish my breakfast, I look over at Matthew and go, young man, being rude ain't getting you nowhere. Next time a lawman asks you a question, just answer it and go about your day. Have a good one.
He kind of looks as if he thinks it over for a moment and just kind of goes back to finishing off now his breakfast.
I shove his plate off the table.
Dang. Get that off the table.
Just walk away.
Yeah, and I'm assuming the 3 of you don't leave at the same time, but the 3 of you do.
I already have everything
eventually.
I need, so I
I'd
am going to
imagine.
leave.
No, as soon as I finish eating, that's when I stand up,
Yeah,
tell
so
him that, and push his food off the table.
yeah, so we'll say, dang. So we'll say that York is the first to leave, and you 2 will leave soon after.
That'll work.
As the 3 of you now embark on the first steps, well, you've already taken your first steps, but you 2, the first steps of your investigation into the missing peoples here. But for now, that is where we will wrap session for now.
Okay.
Aye, Captain.
So,
Alright.
thank you for joining us on this first part of the Deep Waters Dark Secrets campaign. We have a lot more to come and a lot more mysteries to unfold with our 3 investigators here. We do hope you join us for the rest of it. We have some very fun surprises in store.
Hear that, Zach? He said surprises.
What?
I hate it.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Ring the bell.
And ring that bell.
Ring a
Stay
ding ding,
notified.
Because
You'll
Zach
definitely-
said so.
You'll definitely want to stay
I did
notified for
nothing with a
this.
sword. What are you talking
I'm not talking about you.
Voices in
All right, guys, we'll
his
say
head.
goodbye.
Bye!
Goodbye.
Zach says bye too.
Oh boy.
Adios, Bark.
Not it.